Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And I'm Amabel.
and welcome back to the bite-sized video game system, where we're just gonna play. We're just gonna play with our fun ROMs today.
I'm really impressed with the resolution that we've seen so far for these old games.
I wonder
Okay,
if.
this was a little simpler, but the other one it was very complicated.
Wait, what do I? What? Splits. I'm splitting it. What's the point of this game? What is the point of this game?
Ah, I'm not sure yet.
Oh man, 21. What? And then I bomb it, and this has got to be an already existing game, right? And I'm not familiar with it.
I'm not familiar with it either. It does
So I need
seem
to
to.
split horizontally so that I can then split vertically, and then do a horizontal and then a vertical. But I guess I'm in trouble now because I can't. There's nowhere. Oh no, I can do a vertical. I can do a horizontal here, so I can do a vertical there, which lets me bomb something. For what reason? I know not. Okay. I don't understand that game, but that's what that game is.
Okay.
It's probably a very simple old arcade game, and I just. Alright, Ilo Milo Shuffle. Avoid falling for high score. And I'm picking up, like, little bits of film, I guess? So the key is to get them in a position where they're, like, desyncing, right?
Yeah. It's just a little. Just reminds you a little bit of that game you played with. They have to meet at lunchtime. Meet me at lunchtime.
Yeah, meet me at lunchtime, the classic puzzle game. Oh no. It does not remind me of that, no.
Okay. You know the one I'm talking about, though.
I do, but you clearly were not paying attention during my very good Let's Play, because the gameplay is really not like this at all.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know that, but as far as
A critical part of that game is that you are not controlling them at the same time, and that makes everything a terrible nightmare.
Okay.
This is cute. This is a fun. I like this as a thing to do with the dollars a lot more than just like buy cosmetic figurines. But yeah, this is clearly not anything meaningful. We'll just take a second here. All right. Ah. Oh no. Okay. You don't have to avoid the arrows entirely, but it's very safe to do so. Yeah, I don't know how long this is gonna take to actually kill me. I'm assuming it's gonna get uncompletably difficult real soon. There it is. I got a 327. Is that good?
Yeah, I think so.
In any case, I've done it. 1982, South End. You know.
I would say of the three games, that looks like the most fun, and then only for like a minute. So.
Okay, well, now we know that. Now we've done video games. I'm going to save the game again now that I have a cool high score.
No, that's a good policy.
All right. So.
Yeah.
Room 2014 key, Dead Woman's key. Did we ever figure out what this is for? I think at this point we've used all the other keys. We picked up that E-shaped key like really early in the game, and then I just never.
Yeah, the Dead Woman's key was one that's 1847. We went to the 1847 door.
Oh, right. Because we built it to Yep. Okay. So yeah, then we have actually used all of the keys in our inventory. We have not used these blocks. There's a tiny carving on the bottom of this block which reads BTT. It is likely that this block was manufactured by Bertel Terraby Tramechanic, maybe, a northern European company which was active during the greater part of the 1800s and 1900s. The company produced various mechanical wooden items, such as novelty locks, puzzles, and toys. This block is a rarity among their output, as the company usually specialized in items with religious motifs. The company went bankrupt after its involvement in the spectral information scandal became publicly known. Does it say that on all of them? It does.
They're not in the phone book, are they?
I wouldn't think so. Bertel.
No, I don't see. Okay. All right, so
So we still have a door in. We still have a puzzle room that we didn't actually figure out that's open already.
yeah, and then with the maze, we can't get past that particular door, and there's no alternate path in the maze. We have to go through each section
Yeah.
in that order.
Well, there are places where there are bottlenecks. So okay, let me just refresh myself on the box that we're looking at here. Okay, it's this one.
Yeah. So I think each of those shapes is going to correspond to a number,
Well, yeah.
and I think it's going to be the numbers in the windows are arranged to correspond to boxes in the room. But it was a little hard to parse. So.
Okay. Some of the numbers are laying down.
That's true.
1, 4, 9, and 7 are laying down. But this is the 1962 room, right?
Yeah.
So 2 of the numbers we want are laying down and 2 of them aren't. What does that mean? Great question. Wonderful question. Tough to say. Let me have a look at the words here again.
Oh, hang on.
The work is open to several interpretations, but the artist leaves us a clue when examining its symbolism from specific perspectives. Beliefs are only true when beheld in solitude.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the 2 center ones are the number 9 and 5. Right? If you look at the door, at the picture of the door in your photographic memory.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so there are 2 in the center and then 4 on each side. So I'm thinking that one of these is the 9 and one of these is the 5. I don't know which is which.
Why are you thinking that?
Because of the way the things are. So the inside the room, you have 2 pedestals that are central,
Yeah.
and then there are 4 pedestals around the 5. I can't point, so I'm pointing at my screen. That's not really useful to you. There are 4 pedestals on the 5 side of the room, arranged kind of in corners, and there are 4 arranged
Oh, we're about to get Maze
around the
Man.
9.
Come and get it, Maze Man. We haven't done anything since our last save.
I think you have to be in the hall for him to come out.
No, it just takes a little while. Apologies. Missed the cough button. Desperately trying to slap the cough button as I'm also turning my head. Come on, Maze Man. I was going to see if I could lead him into the puzzle room. Make him do the puzzle. Befragungsraum 6.
So the numbers have been going up with each one.
Yeah. Okay, so the magician and the woman are talking. He's doing his hand over the face, 3 fingers in the air thing. There's a coffee mug and a goblet
Sunglasses.
and some sunglasses down there. That means there are 3 goblets. There's a key under the lectern with the book on it.
Mm-hmm.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 footprints. 4 candles. Hit me. Let's see what it is. It's one of those like Celtic crossy things. A trefoiled knot. It had 3 foils. I saw them. Easy. Memory games. Famously, my memory is very good, so these are very easy for me. Interior of the hotel, chapel, night. The gate creaks open. A grandfather clock chimes somewhere in the house. The woman scans the dusky room for any signs of danger. There is no one there save for a handful of wooden saints. Then a shadow of a man steps out from the compact darkness. The magician. He repeats the gesture. What does that mean? That I search for the third eye. The magician takes his hand off his eyes. The woman raises an eyebrow and examines the magician closely. Why are you doing this? I can tell that it's you. When the third eye passes us by, the world belongs to creators. It's a time for beauty and chaos. An artist will be crowned king, and he will lead our victory over Mammon. What do you want? My brotherhood wants you to know that our Italian friend has suffered a nervous breakdown of game-changing proportions. And he's been here the whole time. The magician studies the woman's reaction. I trust that you can keep a secret. Should he be unable to finish this project, it could potentially set back art 200 years. That's ridiculous. I am sworn to secrecy, but I can tell you this much. Your maze is of utmost importance to his mental health, to my order, and indeed, to the future of mankind. It's just an art project. The magician takes a deep breath. A maze is a manifestation of something larger than you and I. Surrender to the red beast and let it guide thy hand. This maze must be the death blow to the materialistic society. I'm afraid that is beyond my reach. The magician takes off his hat and pulls out a journal. Well, we had hoped it would not come to this, but we have read your diary. We know everything about you and what you have done. We have seen it in the stars and in the moon. Well, I don't keep a diary. Well, it might not be yours in this dimension, but we are all one here. It's the same story in different times. Stop it. What do you want? We're simply asking you to play along with the game. For the sake of the project, it would be easier for us. All right, I've had enough. Very well, Signorina. I will relay your answer to my superiors. They will be disappointed. My brotherhood cannot guarantee your safety if you won't follow protocol. So yeah, it's definitely like they're definitely playing towards some kind of like psychotic break, multiple personality angle with Renzo, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it. Not one of my favorite bits.
No.
Huh. So there is 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no 2 or 6 6. Right? I think there are only 8 number pedestals. Because the 2 is the 5 from a certain perspective, and the 6 is a 9 from a certain perspective.
Okay. And this is the 19 what room?
1962.
Oh. Okay.
So, let symbols meet ideas. The work is open to several interpretations, but the artist leaves us a clue when examining its symbolism from specific perspectives. Beliefs are only true when beheld in solitude. So to see a thing in solitude, like beliefs are only true when held in solitude, is that only... It's like one of the interesting implications of that phrase is that I don't believe it's possible to see like the triangle shape without being able to see that shape, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, maybe if I stood... Yeah, if we stand so that this is the pillars between us and it, then we can. So, like, this has... I don't know, the first thing I thought was you're looking for angles where you can see a number and one of the shapes, but just one of the shapes.
Okay. So...
But I don't know if that, like... Okay, from the 1, we can see that thing, right?
Yeah, that kind of rhombus.
But isn't there also an angle from which I can see... Yeah, there's absolutely an angle from which we can see just the one in that thing. So I don't know how to know what I'm culling.
Okay, so if you... Can you look at the door for me?
Okay.
I'll pull up the door again.
Oh, you... Okay.
Yeah, pull up the door again. Alright, so here we have 2 panels.
Mm-hmm.
One has a star in the center. One has the multi-point star in the center, the little
Yeah.
Mon logo, and then there are 4 symbols grouped with each of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking,
You're
if we
very
can,
concerned about what the door looks like, considering that none of the doors have had anything to do with the puzzles so far.
but none of the puzzles have kind of. Okay.
It is weird that the door does not accurately represent the appearance of the puzzle box. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I think that's significant information.
Okay.
Um, so I think.
It does break the pattern.
Yeah, so I think one of these stars
Mm-hmm.
is the 9 or 6, and the other one is the 2 or 5. We just got to parse how that works, and it might be just if we're looking at it, like if you go back into the room when you were looking at the 6, you were only seeing the one thing behind it through the camera. If you look at it where it looks like a 6, you're only seeing the triangle. Now look. Now go.
Provided I look at it in a very specific way.
Yeah. Now if you look at it
Because it's
as a
easy enough to
9,
make it so that's visible. Alright, so we square up, make it as square as possible. That.
sorry. So I think that 9.
So I guess then like the perspective of the 1, the idea is that it looks like a 1 if it's viewed from here. If I were to view it this way, it looks like a horizontal line. So then maybe the 1 is the rhombus.
Yeah.
The parallelogram rather. And then
And the 6 is the triangle.
yeah, and I guess the 2 is this.
Yeah, is that a hexagon?
It's not a...
Oh no, that
it
has...
might be an octagon. It's an octagon.
2 is octagon. So yeah, I think, and those are the 4 numbers that we need for 1962.
We
It's
can
1962,
we
right?
can try that. I think that's a very messy. Like, I'm not saying that I think it's wrong, but I am saying that I kind of hope it's not right because it's a very messy connection, in my opinion, and
See, for
it makes it harder to. And it's like so off pattern.
see for me, it was very intuitive. So that's why I think that must be what it is.
It was this one. Yeah. All right.
Okay,
So the
so the
one
one,
is
the rhombus.
parallelogram.
Yeah, the 9 is just the regular star.
All right.
The 6 is the triangle. Yeah, the triangle. And then
And
the
then the
2
two
is
is
the.
this shape. Yep. All right. The thing is, like, we weren't viewing the two and the thing in isolation. Beliefs only held true because we could see another one of the shapes in that frame. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think that one. I really liked the one perspective one. I think that one was not construct. The room is not constructed well for the thing that it wants you to do. What ultimately changed her mind was when her mother, Stina Liliefeld, took her to see Un Animal Terrible, Nero's 1962 film. She told me she hated it, called it pretentious yet singularly dumb. But she went to see the thing 4 times. She sent a letter to Nero explaining her fascination with his film. Nero telexed a reply. It was short and simply read, "The film is horseshit. Come help me make a real masterpiece." In Nero's usual befuddling manner, it was signed with the one-time moniker Executor.
You know what I hate about this?
Yeah, I do.
What is it?
The fact that there's like 4 different nouns we need to try.
No, that's fine. I hate that horseshit is 2 words. It should be 1 compound word. I feel very
Okay.
strongly about this.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think
Okay.
it is fine as 2 words. I think it's grammatically acceptable as 2 words.
Okay, let's try Escutor first. Escuture. You probably remembered it, but
Yep.
I'll try and be helpful.
Okay. No worries. Okay. That's the date 1963 with each of the characters mirrored.
Okay.
Were they all? Where are?
Visions?
Oh yeah, visions. Thank you. That one is not as simple.
No.
Nor that. Probably. Yeah. But you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just reflected along the midline. Weird. Okay. All of those shapes do have some mirroring going on in them, which is something. All right. Where can we still go? We've been everywhere on floor 1 now.
Yeah, complete unlock there. That's pretty good.
Room 1960, we don't have a key for. Heart key, diamond key, spade key, and we also know where the club key is. Room 1973, we don't have a proper key for. Room 1963. Room 1957. Room 1982. Got a couple of horseman rooms. Worth noting, this room, there's no door to this room. the grandfather clock must be in front of it. Because we did not see this door. This door does not exist.
Okay.
And then there is this door. This is the revolver room.
And I feel like those horses in the garden or in the back, they must have some kind of purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously
So
they do,
we're supposed to find like circular objects to insert into the forehead of the 4 horse statues. We can only actually access 2 of the horse statues at present, but we're definitely supposed to find objects to put into them, right?
Yeah, and we tried with blocks here and we could not.
The blocks didn't want to stay in. But we also don't necessarily have the right blocks for all these situations. Like, in this case, the block we want just has a line down the right side and a line on the bottom. It's like this like the bottom half of a 7 segment indicator.
Or
This
a Greek,
one, in
there's
this
a Greek
one, in
letter that's
theory,
like that, right? Well, maybe not. This one we thought was going to be the.
I mean, like this should work, but it doesn't. That looks right. It's the right font. It's the right letter. But the other ones don't. The other ones, I don't think our blocks will work. Like this, we need like a. Our blocks just don't look like those letters. And then here, the word is backwards.
Yeah, which I thought that we had a. Like that other B, not that one, but the. And
again, that looks like the right font. So it really does seem. It seems like there's something else that we're missing here. This just gives us the names of the horsemen, which we know already. And there's a 5th cube-shaped hole in the crucifix here that we had no idea what to do with.
Yeah. And the horse is in the backyard.
Yeah. I'm going to use an espresso machine for the first time. Oh, okay. She needs a couple of steps to build up to running. She's moving slightly faster. Woo! But yeah, there are these horses. And we have nothing circular to put in their foreheads. Remarkably, nothing seems to want to use the tampons. Ridiculous. I'm trying to think, like, where is there still stuff to do?
Yeah. Nothing in those little basins. Urns.
Yes, the urns. We could. So there's still this.
Yep,
There's
we
the
don't know
other clock in the basement. No idea what time we'd want to represent.
Yeah.
We could try to represent, like, with the 24-hour time scale, we could represent some of our critical dates.
Yeah.
right? We could set the clock to 1847, which is just going to be...
What, 6:47?
here,
Yeah.
right? Reasonable guess, Signorina. Yeah, thanks. It was a guess. Do you have, like, information for me? Strange, is it not? One might think it is broken, Signorina. But here, time itself is broken. It flows mysteriously. Right now, it is always late by 6 minutes. This information is, as all information, a secret weapon. Use it wisely, Signorina. The clock is always late by 6 minutes. Okay. So wait, does that mean I want to put in the time 6 minutes after or 6 minutes before? If the clock is late, then the clock shows us 53 when it's 47, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
All right. There's no value to this. I found a horse. But we know we can't do anything with it yet. I'm going to insert a letter block. Just throw it in there. No? Okay. Yeah, and there's nothing else in here. It doesn't seem like... Wasn't necessarily expecting anything.
Well,
I suppose the 1, 8, 4, and 7 are missing from the balls on the pool table is like the clue for the clock, but also of the ominous dates, it is the one that seems to get used the most.
yeah.
Which is why it is the thing I tried first. Out of curiosity, am I allowed to... No, I'm not. I was going to try to put the other dates into the thing, but we can't interact with it anymore. Just to see if it does something else.
That's another door open.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not literally nothing. It feels a little bit like nothing. We gotta figure out how to turn these cards into the keys that they represent.
I mean, I think the magician's going to do that once we find a rose, but I don't know where to find a rose at.
Yeah. Maybe. It doesn't feel like we can get into anywhere else right now. I could try... We could try punching some stuff from that last memory into the telex, because it's the first place the telex has been mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah, let me... Wait, this is not where I want to be. I'm all turned around. Okay, there's a telex in here. The thing is, I don't have any idea, like, which of the three things to put this into, which suggests to me that it's probably not going to do anything.
Yeah.
I feel like they would have been a little bit less ambiguous with it. There's this painting. I guess maybe this is just to tell you what these look like in Roman numerals in case you can't work it out yourself.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we haven't used it for anything, so it feels weird.
There's that moon book again. Don't know what to do with that.
Okay, we're not expecting any like secret passages out of here or anything. We can get everywhere here. Yeah, that book with the stages of the moon. But we still don't have. We would need we would need 5 significant dates from the same year. Oh, it's about to be Maze Man time again. Oh,
All right, Maze Man, do your.
all right. Show me the scene. So she's come in the room and she's shocked to find him attempting to stab a computer to death.
He has a gun. He has a hat. There's a biscuit on the floor. There's a key on the floor. She's dropping her coffee cup.
Those 2 things are chess pieces.
Oh, okay.
There are, in fact, 5 white chess pieces on the floor, and the only black
There.
chess piece we can see is still on the board.
There are 4 eyes.
4 eyes. It looks like 5 little blocks. Maybe 4 little blocks in some other object, because the rightmost one looks kind of the one that's like right by my feet right now. It looks like rounded or something on the top. It looks like a different object.
Oh, there's something behind. There's a block behind it. Okay.
Classic trickery. They tried this one on us already. All right. Hit me. Oh. I actually don't know. I could pause the recording and go back and look at the footage. There was definitely one underneath the panel that the keyboard's on. I remember seeing that.
Okay.
And
How far back did we save?
I think it's been a little while, but I think we saved after we last accomplished something.
Okay.
It's just, there's been not much accomplishing going on. 4.
There are 4 lights.
Uh-oh. He doesn't think so. He thinks it's a different number than that. I feel like we are...
Okay, have we? So we've opened the door to the clock door, right?
I don't think so. I think this was a save made immediately after we last talked to the old woman. All right. What happens if I go up here and I just set it to 53 immediately without his help? It doesn't work? Did I do it wrong? No? Right, 50. 1, 2, 3.
Wait, no, 50 is 18. Is it 1873? Wouldn't that be 52? Or no?
Wait.
No, it's 6 minutes. 6 minutes fast.
Yeah.
And the year
1847.
1847.
So this is 53.
Yeah. Okay.
If I do this, nothing happens. Do I have something in the wrong place here?
Well,
That's not 7. This is 7. Sorry.
that's 7.
Sorry. He has to show up and tell you that the clock is 6 minutes fast? Oh, because it changes. He said 40 minutes that time. Interesting. Okay. So 40 minutes late would take us from 47 to
27?
27. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's interesting that that's different on different loads, so that you actually do have to do the thing. This is round. Horse, enjoy some espresso. No. Okay. All right, and I suppose I should go save now that that's open. We might get jumped by the man at any moment. Okay. So what else? What else? What else? What else? We have the club door. We have these 4 statues that we don't really know what to do with yet. We have this wonderful, adorable dog. We know exactly what to do with. Love him.
Did we figure out the piano puzzle yet?
We didn't figure out the piano puzzle. Have we been all the way down in this corner? Does it do any? Okay, nothing. Nothing happens. There's no angle or anything. Part of me was thinking if we could just interact with the hat, just like put the cards into it, maybe they would come back out as keys. But in fact, I cannot even interact with it.
Yeah.
All right. The piano puzzle.
Is that on the second floor?
No. Okay, so we have the date 1963 here. We have the date 2014 on the keys. And we have this song. I am an old woman. I'm yesterday's news. 1, 3, 5, 7, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Sorry, and also 8 are the measures that have music in them. 2, 4, 6, and 9 don't.
Wait, is it the number of notes?
Yeah, maybe.
Because there's 2, 4, 2, 2, 2, 2,
3,
3,
6,
6,
and
9.
9. Yeah. And zero a bunch of times. So
Okay.
maybe it's... Three, 6, 9. All right, good call.
I'm yesterday's news. I dream in black and white, see it all through laser eyes. I am an old woman. I was born to sing the blues.
You know what I find most frustrating about that song?
What?
The ambiguity over whether or not she'll see it all through laser eyes. I wish that she had just been a little clearer about that.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful piece. Wonderful, Signorina. Thanks, guy who gets everywhere perfectly silently and is definitely not just a figment of my imagination. Sometimes music lingers in the room, almost like magic.
Oh.
The reddest rose, just for you, Signorina. Well, that's extremely handy, actually. Thank you. In the absence of cuckoos, I must be the singer. It is time to return to the project. Well done, Signorina. Well, I mean, I got the... Okay. I feel like I was the singer, but fine. Let's go ahead and just save that, because we are due for a Maze Manning any second now. And not that the song wasn't pretty or whatever, but...
Yeah, so the Maze Man, is it, do you think it's at a regular interval?
I don't.
What triggers the Maze
Yeah, I don't
Man?
know. We had a couple come really quickly, so I was theorizing it was based on progress, like certain thresholds of truth discovered. I should have had some coffee.
Yeah, but now you're walking past that river, you'd have to go over and take care of your bladder. So I don't think that's. I think you made the right call.
Oh, yes, I know. Here, our inventory just expanded to deal with the fact that it was full. All right. Yes. I remember it like yesterday. Do you? Huh. Wait, no, put me back. I interacted with him. I thought he might say something to us. Welcome to the Sideshow, sister. For a measly 10 American dollars, I can show you a trick I call the disappearing woman. It might take you to unexpected places. Fucking alright.
Almost all your American dollars.
That is a lot of American dollars. Your support keeps the arts alive, sister. Now please brace yourself. Huh. You have traveled far to get here. Come closer, and I will tell you how this all started. This is the tragic story we call the Legend of Creation. Thousands of years ago, the third eye shone over the islands in the Far East, but one night it fell from the sky. A human found it, and when she held it, she saw the magic of this world. She had a vision, so she painted a creature in red ochre on a cave wall. At night, the crimson beast awoke. It spread chaos and death, and devoured the human and her people. The story of the red creature became legend, but the third eye lived on, and appears in the most unlikely of places to this day. So, we'd heard a version of this already, hadn't we?
Maybe. Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Got my dollar back? Free of charge for returning customers, okay. I mean, I'm assuming whatever it was we were supposed to glean from that, it's not something that we could only get there, because again, what they said about the dollars. Okay. This is a different disappearing woman. Wait, $1. No.
Come back.
Maybe this is like the hint location? You can trade dollars for hints. I assume you're going to do the same. Yep. Maybe that's all it is.
$1.
Okay. I just had to
Well,
let it hit me in the head.
okay.
Like it's really frustrating to like try to tap buttons to do things on a time like as an object is floating past, because the only button you have takes you to the menu if you're not right about when you can interact with the thing.
Yeah.
Be welcome to Teatro Rosso, sister. Our ancient order knew of your return. Our prophecy told of a sister bringing us magical cards. We saw that it would open the doors to her past. Tell me, sister, did you bring us any magical cards? Why, I did indeed. How did you know? The card of death. Use it wisely, sister. Okay, I got one more. The card of love. Use it wisely. All right, let's...
I like the crowd murmuring. It's a good effect.
Let's excuse ourselves here. So I guess we don't have a place to come back and spend money if we feel lost?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I think the sound in this game is really interesting. You know, like the only other one of their games that I've experienced is Wild Hearts, which of course is very
Audio
musically based,
focused, yeah.
yeah. And this has a very different focus, but the use of the ambient noise when they use stuff and don't, it seems very thoughtful to me.
I think our eyes are flickering. This time I was allowed to use the computer while it was happening. Last time I felt like it wouldn't let me interact, but maybe I was wrong and I was just missing it.
Well, you were trying to interact when the guy was already on the screen with you.
Who cares? He's got you or he doesn't. Alright, so I don't remember exactly where these doors are. The spade door and the heart door are both on floor 2. Frustratingly, separated from each other completely. But the elevator gets us to the spade door real fast.
Okay.
Nope. Get some espresso in me real quick. All right. Maze Man is taking his sweet time. Oh. I mean, if he doesn't want to show up, that's fine by me.
Yeah.
A file marked case 630113RN. Autopsy report. January 13th at the hotel. Cause of death, the subject has a substantial visible fracture in the os frontal. The fracture has caused severe injury to the frontal lobe. The injury is lethal, but in all likelihood, the cause of death is the cervical fractures in vertebrae C2 and C3, respectively. However, death from circulatory shock due to the extraction of the bulbous oculi cannot be completely ruled out. Grim. How injury occurred. The extraction wounds in the orbita have been caused by a sharp non-surgical instrument. The wounds inside the orbita are similar to those made from a pocket knife. The wounds could be self-inflicted. I don't know. Given the amount of glass found on and inside of the subject, there cannot be any doubt that the subject crashed through the window on the 3rd floor. It is unlikely, but possible, that the subject fell through the window due to the impact needed to crush the glass. Therefore, the subject most likely either jumped through the window or was pushed. Death by illness or accident is unlikely due to the evidence at hand. Subject either committed suicide or was the victim of, foul play. Interrogation transcript, 14th of January, 1963. Commissar Schmidt speaking to someone. When did this change in behavior start? He was eccentric when I arrived, and then his mental state took a turn for the worse after a phone call from the production company. Were you frightened by him? Not at first, no. But at some point you did find him frightening. Yes, I did. In what way? Did he make you uncomfortable? And she says something inaudible. Excuse me, Fraulein? He played with his revolver, and his thoughts were very dark. Evidence submission form, items submitted for examination, espresso cup, revolver, playing card, glass shards, letter. Red paint was found on items A, B, C, and D. Blood from the deceased was found on the glass shards. Exact model or owner of item B could not be identified, presumed to be a pre-war Italian model. A card fell out of the file. Well, isn't that convenient? All right, date of report, January 14th. Police Beamter Andreas Coleman arrived at Hotel Letztes at midnight. He was greeted by someone in the foyer. They were in a state of shock and spoke about eyes. She was in a state of shock. It's the only thing that word could be. After being calmed, she showed the officer on site to the place of the incident. The deceased was found laying on the gravel path, lying face down. The legs were facing the house. The deceased's right arm was folded beneath her body while the left arm was stretched out. A pool of blood had formed beneath the body, and the deceased had visible head injuries. The deceased had, in addition, severe injuries to, everywhere. Shards of glass were scattered on the body around the same. Upon closer inspection, there was additional red liquid near the body, which was believed to be red paint. There were 4 playing cards discovered in the inner pockets of the deceased. A second-floor window above the body had been shattered. The deceased was dead upon arrival. The deceased was identified by witnesses as something citizen, so someone else, like American citizen or whatever. According to blank, the deceased had inflicted blank upon blank and then blank. A second-floor window above the body had been shattered. But the
third floor window was the one that...
Yeah, the autopsy report mentions the third-floor window.
Yeah.
Case dismissal order. Date of report 4 months later in the year. No definitive proof of foul play has been discovered in conjunction with the death. Physical evidence points towards suicide. It has been established that the deceased suffered a manic psychotic breakdown. There have been conflicting professional opinions on whether the stab wounds could have been self-inflicted, but the majority state that a frenzied state might have given them the necessary willpower. Further interviews with a witness have cleared the doubts surrounding her involvement in the death, therefore no further measures will be taken in the case. Curious. We are no longer being pursued. Also, $1. It's full of incomplete and short notes. Fake gun, body moved, Americans. RN equals L?
So I'm wondering.
I'm assuming that L is RN. I think we're all sort of one big happy. This is the wrong doorway.
I'm wondering if we should try those dates for the moon phases.
What's really annoying is having the diamond card and you have to run past the diamond door with it all the way to get the key so that you can come back here to... I find that frustrating, personally.
Yeah.
Let's go use this other key that we have. Yeah, here we go. All right, it's about damn time. Let's get this over with. Okay. We almost certainly won't get the same question, but
Let's count the lights anyway.
looks like there are 3. One of them is kind of hidden.
Okay.
Okay. There are 5 blocks on the floor because I think that one little object is a coffee cup. That's what the deal is.
Okay.
So there's 5 blocks on the floor, though one of them isn't through the doorway. There's also 5 chess pieces on the floor.
5 or 6? Yes, it's 5 because the other thing's a wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. 4 drawings of eyes. Okay. Let's try it again. I remember it all. Ah, there's only one chess piece actually on the chessboard. Thanks. Interior, hotel basement, day. The woman enters the basement with a cup of coffee in her hand. She flips the light switch. She jumps when she discovers the man in her chair. She spills coffee all over herself. The man very slowly turns his head. Signorina, I have come to fear that my entire being is just a part of someone else's story. All my thoughts might be placed in my head by a disciple of Mammon. The man regards the woman. Signorina, is this your story? If it is so, I want you to confess. What do you mean? This is all your story. The man stirs to life, all of a sudden happy and energetic. Oh, good. I was worried. This brings us to the aphoristic bird of the hour. I have completely reevaluated your excellent work. This is amazing. The woman stares at the glitching monitor. Of the maze, only a handful of dots remain. My God, what have you done? Signorina, burning bridges is mandatory for the matchstick. It was much too functional. This is not a critique of your work. You are an amazing artist, if you permit me to say so. Well, you have ruined all of my work. Well, yes, I had to. Otherwise, it can naturally be exploited by capitalism, despite our best intentions. But I'm not the designer. You are. Much work remains. You've totally reset it. I have to reprogram it all. I can't. Oh, such modesty. You must believe in your abilities, Signorina. I do, if you forgive me for saying so. The man smiles affectionately at the OCU3. Man, woman, and machine. A new
genders.
a new trinity. But, as they say, the cat's clock has no time for mice. Progression, Signorina. The man rushes toward the door, then stops. He returns to the computer and picks up a revolver from behind the keyboard. Signorina, you made me forget my revolver. That must be the highest compliment ever given to an artist. The woman stares in terror at the weapon that the man shows her. Hat to the clouds, Signorina. But look at me. I'm keeping you from your morning coffee. Such is not our way. The man puts the revolver in his pocket, then makes the gesture, covering his eyes and showing 3 fingers before he rushes away. Whew. His story as she is experiencing it? Her story as she wants you to believe she experienced it? What does any of it mean? What is any of it?
Yeah.
Just gonna save, just for safety's sake. I know I save like every 4 minutes.
No, that's a good habit, I think.
Alright, so now we want to come up here. No, wait. Wait. I'm going to be on floor 2, right? Yes. Okay. Down here, down here. Okay. Pretty small room, just another report. A very simple version of that famous still life on the wall. And a scrapbook full of newspaper and magazine clippings. Dusseldorf Post, August 25th, 1953. interactive exhibition opens this weekend. Citizens in Dusseldorf visiting Bauschinger Kunstinstitut in hopes of seeing beautiful paintings on display. Kunst is art, right?
Yeah.
In hopes of seeing beautiful paintings on display will be severely disappointed. Curator Anne Catherine Braun states that the art of the future will require participation. The spectator will interact with the artwork and perhaps even co-create it. The first wave of this so-called art is an exhibition called Verschlossen Erinnerungen, spearheaded by Lorelei Weiss, a lesser-known artist from Frankfurt who thought it necessary to litter a fine institution like Bauschinger with childish puzzle boxes that only the most fixated could possibly open. A fine product for country fairs, no doubt, but Fraulein Weiss's clothing and insistence upon wearing sunglasses indoors suggest that she has the hubris to think that her trinkets belong in the upper echelons of art society. Opening boxes in search of locked memories is a prime example of what is wrong with art today. This is written by Roger Ebert. Technic and Photography, Issue 8, 1960. Report from Electronic Arts Symposium. Engineers are artists in this innovative exhibition. Earlier this week, the exciting Electronic Arts Symposium took place in Kirchsteiger Messe. Apologies for butchering every single non-English word in this entire game. The exhibition is open to everyone and hopes to show the exciting happenings in the world of electronic devices and how they can be used for more than work and calculations. Among the selected artists was Lorelei Weiss, known for her puzzle boxes and, recently, her innovative use of computers. Her contribution caused quite a sensation, as its deliberate malfunction caused some panic. Weiss is not too keen to talk about what the work of art meant. She does not want to end discussions by giving a correct answer. Veteran art critic Morris Talbot insisted it was a comment on the unreliability of technology. But concept artist Eiichi Tanaka thought that Weiss wanted to show us the death of an artwork. That's an interesting idea. Cinema Occhio, Issue 4, 1962. Un Animal Terribile Review. There can be little doubt that Renzo Nero is not a filmmaker for everyone's taste. That's to be read as a 5-star review, right? That's not just a spacer.
I think so.
His critics find him crude yet pretentious. His latest film won't win them over, but I don't think Nero cares. Un Animal Terribile is in many ways an experiment in audience participation. A number of scenes present the audience with tough choices about what should happen next. Regardless of the audience choices, the film always ends with Lucia coming back to life. This interactive film thus makes fun of its own concept of interactivity. Nero says that this is a comment on the illusion of democracy, but it works just as well as a joke about the illusion of interactivity. We like to think that we affect outcomes, but in truth most of us are mere spectators, superfluous, tired eyes. It's the participation that in the end makes Un Animal Terribile such an intense viewing. This should be essential viewing for anyone remotely interested in the development of narrative media, but be warned, it is not a pleasant film by any means. Sounds like something you would make.
Yeah, this is really...
Is it like laser targeted? Are you feeling a little bit like personally?
Yeah, it's just like some of the stuff in that Dusseldorf Post thing, it felt familiar.
Anyway, everybody, go buy a copy of City of the Six Moons.
It's not out yet.
Holland
It'll be a
Schmiel.
couple weeks.
Yeah, but they could start giving you money now. I think that would be fine.
I don't do pre-orders.
Just send her money. We'll figure it out later. Just mail her dollars. Journal du Sud.
American dollars.
I will take whatever. Journal du Sud, 7/7/1962. Renzo Nero wins big in Monte Carlo. Will spend the money on new film project. The director caused some mirth when he arrived in Club Rouge with a grocery bag stuffed with American dollar bills and stated that he was there to clean house. According to witnesses, Renzo Nero was in good spirits and joked with both staff and other patrons. Despite the rumors about Renzo Nero when it comes to romance, our reporter, Mrs. Melissa Dubois, caught Renzo Nero in the company of starlet Carla Romano and socialite Felicia LeVay, both drinking champagne, but the big winner celebrated with a double espresso. Were you not afraid to lose such an amount? No. First of all, it was not my money. Secondly, I had seen in the stars that I would win. There was no reason to worry. A risky business, gambling with the production budget. If you lost, there'd be no movie. There would be no movie, but it's better to have no movie than a bad movie. I needed more money than the studio gave me. Do you think you've set an example for other filmmakers? No, it was a terrible idea that turned out very well. Casinos are crooks. I got lucky. I would recommend filmmakers to rob banks instead. Gambling is immoral. Good luck with your next picture, Mr. Nero. Thank you, Bella Melissa. It will be the one. We're restarting cinema from the beginning to the time when celluloid was magic, not for passing the time between hamburgers. And the other playing card. Okay. Das Nordost Journal, 6/1/1963. Death at the hotel. Police are coy about details. The police are investigating a death that occurred at the Hotel Letztes yesterday evening. The hotel has been closed for the season, but according to neighbors, there had been a film shoot in the weeks past. The police won't confirm that there is any correlation between the film production and the death. Commissar Schmidt, who is in charge of the investigation, refuses to release any further information. The investigation is in a delicate phase at the moment, and therefore the deceased's identity will not be released at this time. We cannot rule out the possibility of a crime, and as such it is standard procedure to treat it like a murder investigation, the police commented earlier this morning. Okay, and then there's a big gap in articles, all the way to November 29th, 1982, the Central European Times. Report from the inside, the Third Eye movement. Cult or commune? Our reporter secretly joined the pilgrimage. I was confused when I received an invitation to an eye-to-eye session from the Third Eye movement. After some research, mostly consisting of buying fellow writers a drink, my confusion turned to excitement. The Third Eye movement is, apparently, a gathering of painters, musicians, composers, directors, photographers, and writers. And so I thought it was in my capacity as a Mendig-awarded journalist that I was invited. Jose Marie Gil, the European branch's Magnus Master Artist, maintained that it was due to a little red collection of poetry I released back in the 60s. Jose Marie made it clear that it would not occur to him to let journalists into their midst, as journalism is a reactive craft, and not a creative one. This predates Hunter S. Thompson. You see, the Third Eye movement is solely for those filled with the power of creation, something I would hear more about in the weeks to come. What I thought was a secret club for the avant-garde bohemians was something entirely different. It was like being offered a seat at King Arthur's Round Table. I suddenly found myself part of a quest, not for the Grail, but something else. A metaphysical power? An entity? A treasure of sorts. No one knew or wanted to tell me, but it was clear that it had, perhaps thousands of years ago, appeared somewhere in Sulawesi. The members whispered of it as a zeitgeist, and they now believed it was to be found in Central Europe. Art Filter Issue 2, 2014. Where are they now? Lorelei Weiss. Our search for the elusive computer image innovator who never entered the spotlight. Unearthing obscure artists is the archaeology of the 21st century. Whether it's a long-dead nativist naivist painter from Sweden, a minimalist composer from Latvia, or a mediocre Edwardian horror writer, they are all dug up and put on display. Obscurity adds value to a body of work, and by digging them up, we deprive them of that value. But the thing about Lorelei Weiss's most interesting art is that it can't be sold, because no one really knows if it exists anymore. Gallery owner Gaston Rousseau pours us a coffee in his apartment in Paris. Last year, he started to research the possibility of doing an exhibition which would act both as a tribute and a retrospective of the eclectic artist. He had hoped to recreate her lost art with the help of Weiss herself, and today's most admired names in computer art. She was the Gauguin of the electronic era, Rousseau tells Art Filter. I'm having plenty of trouble with some of the actual English words as well. If all of Gauguin's work had been burned, that is. Weiss was an elusive figure even when she was in zenith, but after the Nero affair, for which she sadly is most remembered, few have met her. Through Rousseau's network in the art world, he managed to track her down in Hamburg and swiftly traveled to arrange a meeting with her. I was too late. I had such big plans. Maybe I was a fool to believe I could create a renaissance for a long-forgotten electronic art pioneer, Rousseau sighs. The old woman I met could hardly see, let alone speak. It didn't look like she had much time left. Okay, so that gives us the significance of 2014, although, obviously we had an idea already.
Yeah.
And finally, Connected, Issue 3, 2022. The Internet Mystery of the OCU-3. Truth or Fake? We dive deeper into the modern myth of the 1960s supercomputer. We've all heard the story by now. In Oggenwaldberg, where entrepreneurs Mick Otto and Rob Geib are building a Euro funland, complete with golf courses, spas, and restaurants, a construction worker came upon a computer believed to be from the 1960s, the OCU-3. First found in what was the basement of the old mansion which previously stood on the grounds, it was later sold at a flea market, and eventually ended up in the hands of an anonymous individual known as Pute on several forums. How would you sell a thing that size at a flea market? Pute then claims to have managed to reconstruct parts of the data on the OCU-3. And we've all seen the results on the internet, we've all been astonished by it, and we've all asked ourselves the same questions. Was this type of technology available in the 1960s? Could an entire interactive retrospective be made, or even fit, on the primitive devices of that time? In the coming weeks, we will try to answer these questions and dive deeper into the mystery of the OCU-3. See, that's interesting because up till now, it has not been clear whether the technological anachronism was part of the sort of dreamlike quality of this place or not, but that gives us a little bit more grounding.
I like the series of documents, the series of, for lack of a better word, there's a puzzle, the puzzle of what's going on, what's the story, which is existing alongside and related to, but somewhat separate from all the little interlocking puzzles, doors to open to solve, and I like having both that very mathematical logic puzzle and this very kind of mysterious, more arty-farty puzzle. This more, the puzzle where I don't know if we're going to get a definite answer, And I like that both those things exist side by side.
It seems to be shaping up into a thing with a single timeline. Like I thought at first we were going to get a thing that's sort of was several lines sort of suspended in the air against each other, sort of a dream. But it's seeming more and more like it's going to collapse to something pretty solid.
Yeah, I wonder how solid it's going to be though. If there's still going to be some ambiguities built in to make it, kind of a ghost horror thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, we still don't entirely know the deal with the Nero affair, although we're coming closer and closer to it, right?
Yeah.
I think that is going to have to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, perhaps we will uncover the Nero affair in its entirety. Maybe we'll get shot in the face by a guy whose head is a maze. Anything could happen, really. And we'll see you then.